So, in the spirit of Sora coming out and things of that nature, since he's going to be the main topic of today's video, I kind of want to tell a story of my own, since Kingdom Hearts story is very interesting. So, one special day, there was a content creator. This content creator blew chunks, but he always did his best for the people that take the time out of their day to watch his horrendous videos. One day, this content creator recorded a 40-minute video of everything regarding the last moments in Smash and Sora as a character in general, and it turned out pretty swell. However, because this content creator is an absolute dumbass, he decided to name the audio file to that video similarly to the reaction he did to the presentation. So then, the absolutely moronic piece of shit content creator deletes the recording, thinking that it was the reaction video already uploaded to his second channel. But in actuality, the content creator deleted the file they already started working on because he's an absolute dumbass and doesn't deserve support because of how set back this fuckhead was afterwards, since he allowed this shit to affect him when this shithead was coming back to content creation. Roll the intro. Now, button the intro, we're throwing it away. Alright, look, here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna start with Twitter and Sakurai hyping up, so before the reveal. Then I'm gonna talk about the initial reveal for me. Then I'm gonna talk about the initial reveal for other people. Then we'll talk about the presentation. Then we'll talk about Nomura's comments. Then we're gonna talk about the Famitsu article. And then we're gonna add the extra that we need. Alright, cool. Don't roll anything. We're gonna just start now. So, let's start from the very beginning, the very moments before the presentation reveal, or the days I should say, before the presentation reveal of Sora. Very interesting days. I'll tell you what. Since this was the final character getting revealed, a lot of people were hyping up this character, making the exact same mistake they made with the last time they hyped up this character, the last character Fighter Pass, and it turns out it was very interesting. However, this time for sure it was gonna happen. But honestly, for once, the Twitter people actually kind of did something right. And I'm not gonna credit these people, don't get me wrong, these people are weird. However, what I will credit is the fact, well, I'll give them where credit is due, is that this was very different from a lot of the other reveals that have happened when Sakurai Presents comes on. You know why? Because Sakurai himself promoted this. When Sakurai promotes something, that's how you know something's up. And especially the language in which he says this said thing, which So Sakurai said the following: in one day, the last fighter of Smash Bros. Ultimate will be announced. Even if you don't play the game, if you're interested in gaming, I'd like to recommend you watch it. Then he said the new fighter may be a character that you don't know or different from what you expect, but I hope you enjoy the broadcast itself, and I had fun recording it. Now, that just screams important character. That doesn't really scream Incinerate to me. Also, I could have sworn I saw something hyping up Sora on Nintendo's Twitter, like the official Nintendo Twitter account, and I believe they had like images up, random Smash Bros images that may have given hints to the last fighter, but I literally tried and searched for like 20 minutes. I couldn't find anything. But I will say that this was a very interesting little link here, which is someone by the name of Kayla, and it showed a picture of the official Pokemon Twitter saying, when you walk away, you don't hear me say. And then you have Cloud drowning.
I am under the water. Please help me.
So, with that being said, maybe that was a hint. It definitely wasn't. For once, I had my expectations fairly high for this one. However, I was still expecting maybe a curveball or two. I wasn't expecting him to give the people what they wanted, but luckily I was pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? Alright, so since we're here, Sora got revealed. What is my reaction to it? Guys, me and this character have had a tussling this whole time. If you guys don't know, I did a couple different videos. I didn't do an official video talking about Sora, and I never did, because obviously I was very ill-informed, and I realized that very early on. Back when I did a video talking about Geno, I mentioned Sora in that video, saying something like Disney owns him. They won't give him the rights. They gotta work with Disney and Square Enix, which would be a hassle. Which I still believe, because working with two companies in general is always going to be a harder time than working with just one company, especially when that company is one of the biggest corporations in the world. However, that was back then. I'll get to it. So I made that video. I got corrected by it in a comment, and then afterwards there was an article that came out. I believe around that time there was an article released talking about how Disney actually wants to be more open for entertainment, specifically video game entertainment, entertainment, because the video game industry is so popular nowadays and it's like the hit media to kind of dip your toe in. So Disney wanted to dip their toe in the gaming gold, and the first correlation is Smash Bros, because Smash Bros is a big franchise to kind of promote your content in. It left the door a little more open than I initially thought, and once again my opinion was that Disney was never going to work with Nintendo. However, that changed. Then I did another video, I remember talking about the final character, what, like a final reveal character, which, hey, look, all I'm saying is I predicted it, alright? Just saying. In the video, I explained about Sora a little bit. Now, once again, the thing with Sora is so complicated. I don't know. I just have a hard time always wrapping my head about who owns what, how much of Sora owns where, how much of Kingdom Hearts is owned where. So I'm not even going to get into that because I'm dumb and I forgot what I said in that video. Probably should have watched it back, but I don't care. Anyways, that's not the whole point of this. The whole point is saying that me and Sora have a very shaky history. The story between me and Sora is like the story of Kingdom Hearts. It's convoluted as hell, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that this character got in. As for any knowledge that I have of actually Kingdom Hearts, I actually have a playthrough of me playing the first game on my second channel. I have never played a Kingdom Hearts game up to that point. I've recently gotten to the series and I'm trying to play through it. I played like the first 5 minutes of Dream Drop Distance and that was about my experience with it. Other than that, Ahmad loves Kingdom Hearts. Let's just say that much. Forget me. Let's talk about other people's reaction to the content. Now, obviously, it's pretty unanimous thing that Sora is the character everyone wanted because of how impossible it seemed at the time. And I feel like if there was any time to really put this character on the map, it would definitely be now. If not, I don't know if Sora would have ever made the roster any other time. So, of course, when people saw he was the final character, I bet a large release. So many people loved the announcement of Kingdom Hearts. I saw some people saying that they didn't like the character because it's an anime sword fighter, which I've already made a video on, so I'm not even gonna talk about it. And then on top of that, other people were saying things like Disney would probably be a little more controlling in that aspect, but it makes sense. I mean, obviously Disney is a popular platform, and when you're dealing with Disney, Kingdom Hearts utilizes some of their most popular characters, so obviously they're not just gonna let Sakurai do whatever willy-nilly. And honestly, this is mostly a joke, but honestly, the fact that there was a close-up of Mickey on the key, and the fact that the Mickey logo was even on the keyblade probably cost like more money than Sakurai's home. Now, all jokes aside though, it is cool seeing the character, and everyone's reactions to the character was very heartwarming. People wanted him actually since Brawl. Like, so much so that people have made probably 30, 40, 50 million different mods of the character in games like Smash 4 and even Brawl and stuff. So little there is to say, this character is pretty unanimously loved. Obviously, once again, some people are gonna have issues with it. Everyone's gonna have issues with everything. I don't really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. So with that being said, now let's get into the presentation. Now, of course, since this presentation came out like 4 months ago, I'm not going to cover everything, and I'm not even really going to be covering like Sora like that. Before Sakurai starts revealing, before he revealed Sora in the first place, he actually revealed a couple Mii costumes. We got Don't Care, and we got the Doomslayer, which I think is really cool. It's kind of ironic considering a leak that was released a long time ago had characters related to them as playable characters, but now it's crazy how the world works. It's crazy how the world works. But going into a very, and I mean very brief thing about Sora's overall character and description, overall I think they did a good job with his design, and honestly it feels like he plays similarly to the first game from what I understand. Obviously there's elements of like the second game, like the fact that he's like floating and stuff, I know is a thing in like every other Kingdom Hearts game, but from what I played of the first game, it seems like he fights very similar to that game. It makes sense there. And honestly, the moves he displayed in the trailer were amazing. And speaking of the trailer, can I just say, I'll just say this, the trailer left me feeling a lot of emotions. Considering that this is a final character, the king of crossovers, I feel like in a way this was like a true ending. Like, you know how games have like the regular ending, some wish-wash here and there, and then there's like a true ending if you do all of the side quests and whatnot. I feel like we did all the side quests and this was the true ending to the and as we will go in later, he wasn't supposed to be the final character reveal. It was actually a last minute pick, if you will. But honestly, his trailer was really good. I know everyone is geeked out at this point, so I'm not going to mention anything crazy. But, just the fact that it's ending where it started, the fact that you get to see all the fighters in one, the fact that Sora's floating around looking like he's freaking a knockoff Peter Pan, and just the overall trailer and the overall vibes of the trailer gives like a grandiose finale that I really do appreciate and I really like. I know some people were relating it back to the initial song, the song of Smash Ultimate World of Light. Lifelight, that's what it's called, Lifelight. I think there would be a little bit of reference to Lifelight in there, which I think was really cool. Whether it was intentional or not, people have related it back to that song. And overall, the trailer was freaking beautiful, dog. It left me feeling very emotional. I'll just say that. Very emotional. More emotional than I actually thought. I was actually about to cry. Now, as Sakurai was covering the moveset, one thing I actually noticed was the final smash. And I had a little bit of mixed feelings about the final smash. And I think a couple other people have too. For people who care, people who don't care, I care about meticulous stuff like that. So I'm gonna cover it. So for the final smash, it's called Sealing the Keyhole. And he basically goes and seals fighters in this tiny little, you know, this smash door of some sort. I don't know where they're going, but they're going somewhere. Looks like freaking the Shadow Realm. I don't know. I feel like with the final smash, they could have done more with it. Now, I do realize that this was most likely because Sakurai doesn't want to spoil things, because the ideas that I have in terms of what his final smash could be would spoil content from Kingdom Hearts. But that's not to say the final smash of Sora does feel a little underwhelming, but that's just me nitpicking, especially with how much Sakurai hyped up the move in the presentation. But that's honestly me just nitpicking. Other than that, the character is perfectly represented in my opinion. I think overall what they could do with the character is what they could do. Speaking of liking something, let's talk about one of my favorite stages in Smash Bros. So when I saw Hollow Bastion, I saw that they chose Hollow Bastion, I didn't think there was much to it. I actually thought they were going to use like Destiny Isle, and I thought they were going to do kind of something similar to what they did with the Sephiroth stage. With that, they would tell a story in the stage, but just Kingdom Hearts version of it. Like, and I do like Hollow Bastion, I really do. I think the stage is phenomenal, and I think the thing that really puts it up there as a memorable stage and one of my favorites is the fact that it turns into the mural church looking area when the battle's almost over. I think if you're at like a final stock or like a final minute of the game or something, that part is so good. I honestly wish that part was kind of the main thing about the stage, but just the fact that they have that there is so cool, and I love all the details Sakurai did. So they have stained glass murals of various different Kingdom Hearts characters. I think that's really cool representation that they did in the game. Now obviously Sora went into, I guess he had a falling out with Goofy and Donald because they're off the thing, but once again, I mean, that's understandable considering probably the mess that Sakurai had to go through to get the character how Disney wanted to. We got Amiibo, who cares? Oh, one final thing I'll talk about with the presentation is the song list. I know a lot of people were very disappointed with the track list only having 9 songs, especially since we came off a character that released like 50 plus songs. However, you gotta realize who we're talking about. We're talking about Sora. The copyright issues with Sora and what's acceptable and what's not, I imagine the Sakurai and the team played it very, very safe when trying to get the character in, so it makes sense. I didn't expect there to be a lot of music, so this is about what I imagined what would happen. Overall, it was a really good presentation. We got the whole trailer at the end, which was phenomenal. Once again, I really enjoyed it, and overall it was an amazing experience that I will never forget. So while the presentation was going on, Nomura actually commented during the presentation and said the following, quote, "They were very thorough and did a great job responding to our frequent reviews and detailed requests. I think fans will be satisfied with how Sora has turned out, and I hope you all enjoy playing as him. To all of Mr. Sakurai's staff, thank you so much. Tetsuya Nomura." That was the note of that, and we got some more things that he talks about both Sephiroth and Sora that I'm gonna get into. But overall, I think it was a great quote. I think it really showed how meticulous this character was to get into Smash. So once again, things like the track list, things like maybe even the move set, maybe even the stage and what exactly would you do was heavily discussed, if that makes any sense. Because once again, you're working with 3 different entities at one, and coming to an agreement with 3 different parties, it's hard. So what Sakurai did was not easy, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm glad that this was able to work out in the end. So yeah. Now, as I said before, this isn't the only thing Nomura actually said on the topic. So right now I'm on Nintendo Everything, and it was posted on November 21st. So this was a few weeks after the presentation, which was on October 5th. Nomura actually shared some more commentary on Sora being invited into Smash and Sephiroth. So I actually wanted to cover that and talk about it with y'all. y'all a little bit. So once again, I'll just read a little bit of the article. If you want to check out the full article, I'll put a link in the description below. I just want to read the quotes off this thing. So this was actually an interview that Nomura had with GameSpot. They're asking Nomura about Sephiroth and Sora because if you guys don't know, Tetsuya Nomura played a huge role in the creation of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, and he's a director for both series. So obviously in the process he had to be talked to before, so they wanted some insider information on him, and he said the following quote: "I think Sephiroth was pretty unexpected, so it was fun to see how surprised people were. Considering he was the second Final Fantasy VII character to be added to the game, I was somewhat unsure if it was okay for him to make up one of those precious slots in the roster. I was relieved to see that people responded positively to his announcement." I don't know why he felt this way. Sephiroth is like one of the most popular villains in gaming history, especially in RPGs, but just in general, he's up there. I don't know why he was so worried, but you know, I guess it happens. Nomura also shared the following about Sora in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and he said this quote: "With Sora, we were thinking that the news would create buzz, so we prepared some other Kingdom Hearts related announcements to coincide with that day. We also knew that putting out any sort of message ahead of time would draw suspicion, so we were lying low prior to the announcement. The fan reaction exceeded even what I had imagined, so I was extremely happy. Sora's handshake with Mario at the end of the trailer was an element we were insistent about including, so I hope fans noticed and enjoyed it." I mean, that was obviously a moment highlighted. Like it's just, oh my gosh, it was that whole trailer was fire, man. I could go into like a 30-minute video just talking about that whole trailer, but I'm not going to, obviously. So then in the article it says the vice president of Disney and Pixar Games, Luigi Pryor, chimed in on Sora as well. "We're not surprised by the reaction, but we were thrilled. The company is pursuing a new approach to bring our characters to our fans in new ways and say yes to things which might have seemed impossible before. Ultimate Disney was confident that Mr. Sakurai's team will do a wonderful job bringing the character to life. Sora was one of the first ever characters to cross over between Disney World and one of the first crossover characters ever. So we think it's quite fitting that Sora is the final character to cross over into Smash." And that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, Sora is one of those characters where it makes so much sense, but people just deemed it, me included, just deemed it as impossible because Disney, they have the upper hand. They can do what they want. I'm sure Sakurai didn't want that stress on and thinking about it in it. But basically, it seems like for what I suspected is true. They decided to do this after revealing to the fact that they were more open to including material of theirs into other games, and this once again is an example of that. And this was the most popular example, and this is the example that a lot of people wanted, so I can see Disney doing that. So anyway, but back to Nomura. Quote: "GameSpot asked Nomura what it's like to have 3 characters he helped come up with appear in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. On that topic, he said, it's truly an honor that Cloud, Sephiroth, and now Sora, not just one or two of the characters I helped make, but 3 of them have been invited into a world that features such an impressive group of characters. I had been hoping to repay Mario and friends someday, as I greatly enjoyed so many of the games, so this opportunity has made me so happy. In fact, nothing makes me happier than seeing the fans enjoy the 3 of them, and I hope that Mr. Iwata will be pleased with their inclusion too." Absolutely smashing response. But yeah, I wanted to chime in some opinions about Nomura and how he felt about everything that's been occurring, which makes a lot of sense. I think this is an exciting reveal. It's always exciting to get your character into a game as prestigious as Smash Bros. It really shows that you've made it 100%, and I'm sure anyone would be honored to have their character in Smash, which is why I always say, like, it doesn't really matter what company we're talking about here. If they're in Smash, it makes a lot of sense. Either way, those are Nomura, and then there was Luigi Prior comments on Sora getting the Smash. So yeah, I wanted to kind of bring that to you guys' attention since this was weeks afterwards, and you know me. Now, the final thing that I'm going to talk about is the Sora Famitsu article. Now, I have already done a video, and this was planning to be separate, but considering the fact that I owe you guys an extra long video, I'm going to just put it all in one thing. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut to a very long time ago where I covered the article in a lot of detail, and we're going to cover things like Sora not being actual character that they were going to use and whatnot. So, with all that being said, cutting. Well, actually, no. Let's flash forward to, not flash forward, back to the past, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, though, we have a Famitsu article by Sakurai we gotta cover, because I said I would cover all of them. And this one involves Sora, and kind of more into how Sakurai chose him. Unlike all the other reactions I did, I actually kind of read through a little bit. I skimmed through a lot of the Famitsu article. I don't know why, I don't know, I was just bored, bro. Anyways, once again, let's give our shout outs to Push Dustin and Cody Nicola. Shout out to them for translating the article. Push Dustin takes the first half, and Cody Nakalolo takes second half. So go ahead and get right into it. Ain't gonna waste you guys' time no more. The barrier for Sora joining the battle was quite high. In fact, the negotiation team might have thought it would be impossible. Sora joining Smash is actually the result of a lucky meeting between Sakurai and one of the heads of Disney at an award show. It's kind of crazy because that's kind of how Kingdom Hearts came to be. I don't know the full story, but I believe it was a Disney representative, and then it was
Hashimoto.
I think if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But I believe it was those two on an elevator, and he like pitched the idea really quick to him on an elevator. See guys, this is why you got to get your elevator pitches right. Who knew that Kingdom Hearts would become this popular to where like Disney would actually agree to it? And Sora joining Smash was the whole Sakurai's thing again, which was kind of crazy. And it's also crazy because that would mean that Kazuya would have been the very last fighter. Wrong! So one thing I wanted to add is obviously Sora was not planned to be the final character. So was Kazuya gonna be the final character? That's one thing that I was wondering in my mind. But there was apparently somewhere that said that if Sora wasn't gonna be the final DLC, that final character they would have actually chose was Sephiroth.
Yes.
Which makes sense because of how grandiose his trailer is, and I think that still would have been a pretty good way to end off. But once again, we got the good ending. This was the normal ending. We got the true ending, my guys. So, you know, we don't have to worry about that. But anyways, moving on. First of all, there was only like 3 Mii costumes for Sora, so it seemed like they were wrapping up kind of production. They didn't have many plans. And then for Kazuya's Mii fighters, he gets all these crazy ass fighters that people have wanted, like Shantae and stuff like that. So he got all the Mii fighters in his past, and Sora didn't get a lot in his, and it's just kind of weird. But yeah, that little shiny little glow thing, that wasn't just for show. It was actually planned to end there, but then they got a 6th one, they got Sora, so that's really fire. I really like that. So that's nice, that's nice. Sakurai told the manager that he wished to see Sora in Smash, and somehow they were able to make it work. It took a lot of talks between Square Enix, Nintendo, and Disney to get Sora into Smash. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's kind of crazy to think that I saw something, a comment on Twitter, I think it was by Push Dustin that said this, and it's kind of crazy. Usually things like having 4 different companies, especially one of them being freaking Disney, to have the ability to pick this character in is a huge feat, man. Like honestly, to having 4 different parties be able to come together to a conclusion, because we already know that Sakurai and Nintendo already have to discuss things. It's not like they agree on every single term. So just because Sakurai obviously is a part of Nintendo, that doesn't automatically mean that he'll agree to everything Nintendo says. Nintendo pitches a fighter, Sakurai rejects it or accepts it depending on if he can find a way to make it work. But then on top of that, you have to involve Square Enix, and then on top of that, you have to involve Disney. Like it is a lot. When you think about it, it's a huge feat that they were able to do this, especially in a last minute time frame like this. I don't know, I just think it's something really cool about that. Shout out Sakurai and that Disney representative. Yo, can we get a name for the Disney representative? I want to hand him a freaking, I don't know, love letter, dog. And yeah, it really is poetic justice that he was able to do all of that. And the way he got into Smash is extremely similar to how the concept of Kingdom Hearts came to be. That is so poetic justice. If that ain't some Disney shit, I don't know what is, bro. I'll be honest with you. Okay, so apparently where I was reading was a column leak. So now we're gonna go to the actual one and then we'll read off from there. There's still more information. It was just cool seeing all that. But anyways, let's get into the rest of the article. Sakurai starts off by saying the Sora's reveal had an amazing reaction. For more details, fans can watch Mr. Sakurai present Sora to learn more about the last fight. He mentions it in the presentation, but Sora was the #1 most requested new character in the fighter ballot. As we know, I know there was some negotiation about what happened with Bayonetta, but then obviously we got reminded that Sakurai did not say Bayonetta was the most wanted character ever. He said out of all the characters, she was the most realizable characters, if that makes sense. Meaning in a realistic standpoint, in the time frame that they had of Smash 4 between when they released the ballot and then when the characters get in, they only had so much time to get the fighter in there. So it had to be someone that they could call real quick or someone they have a very close relationship with, like Platinum Game. My question is, I wonder how many, obviously all the fighters that are in Smash Ultimate, a lot of them came from the ballot. I believe the Belmonts, King K. Rool, and stuff like that. So I wonder how many, I don't know, I want to see the ballot. Can I see the ballot? Can we see the ballot? Please, come on, it's over. Can we see the ballot, please? I'll give you $5. Look. I'll give you this very old taco. This is this very old Taco Bell gift card. Banjo and Kazooie also ranked very high in the fire ballots as well. From a Japanese perspective, it was quite surprising. The barriers to Sora's inclusion in Smash weren't as surprising though. It wasn't the same as getting other fighters. Obviously because you have to go through Disney. It's Disney, dog. It's I mean, honestly, it is kind of crazy to think Banjo and Kazooie, considering that they're not very popular in Japan. It's kind of weird considering that they were that high on the ballot. I wonder, what place did they get? Like, I just want to know the place. Can I at least get the placements of all the characters that are confirmed to be in Smash Ultimate because of the ballot? I'm wondering, like, King K. Rool. I know lots of people wanted Ridley, so, like, what place did he come at? I don't know. I just would love to see kind of how they, I don't know. That's just me. Anyways, let me shut up. Even though he was highly requested, Sakurai thought it'd be highly unlikely to get Sora in Smash. There's no doubt that the team involved with negotiations for Smash Bros. Also thought it was impossible as well. But one day an opportunity came through. At a certain award venue, Sakurai had the chance to meet with a Disney representative. They said it would be great if Sora could get in, but that meeting alone wouldn't be able to get Sora into Smash Bros. The higher-ups could feel differently and talks could fall apart. After long and careful discussions with Square, Nintendo, and Disney, the okay was given. Fighter Pass 2 has 6 fighters. So once again, originally the plan was for them to have 5 fighters. We have 6 now. I guess that also explains in a way why, like, I guess one thing I noticed with Sora's trailer, don't get me wrong, the trailer was perfect, but one thing that was very weird was how little lines he had. And I feel like the trailer, while it was beautifully done, once again, I'm not knocking the trailer or anything, I feel like in a way it was kind of weird to not see Sora talk as much, especially since I played Kingdom Hearts not too long ago. It's just weird looking at him like flying around and he's not saying nothing. I don't know, I feel like it would be cool if he could be like, wow, look at all the fighters down there or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's something weird about it. I don't know. It gave me an empty feeling inside, but maybe that's because he was the last fighter and it's just, I don't know, it made me cry, bro. So, you know, it is what it is. Sora was supervised by Disney and Square Enix. This meant there were a lot of high hurdles to his inclusion and many guidelines to follow. Also, this is kind of confirmed from Nomura's statement because they gave Sakurai a lot of, you know, a lot of things to handle, but yeah. Sakurai says, the first Sora model that the Smash team sent to Disney/Square Enix was very quality, and there was not a lot of issues. Sora's playstyle in his games emphasizes aerial combat and tight timing for combo. It doesn't exactly translate one-to-one, but you might be able to get some of that feeling in Smash. I definitely get that feeling in Smash. Like I said, I played Kingdom Hearts a lot, and I feel like it makes sense because a lot of the combat in Kingdom Hearts, if you guys have never played it, I'm sure everyone has played it. From the start of the DLC, 11 fighters were made. Looking back on the release date of the base game, it's already been 3 years. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It has really been 3 years, jeez. There's such a wide variety of fighters in the DLC, and of course the team shrunk and there was an impact of COVID. Athlete's foot. It's athlete's foot, guys. It's a typo. Everyone does it, trust me. The development time for DLC was essentially the same as working on a full game. Sakurai feels that he will work on only a few more games, so he's worried about the future. Oh man, I don't know, because, you know, I was watching someone talk about this, and they said that Sakurai is someone that I feel like when he's not working on something, he's not at peace. Like, I feel like he's the type of person that would work on something, even if it's like minor. I don't know, I feel like he would do something to that. Eventually, we can talk about this in a separate video, but I feel like with the future of Smash Bros, it's one of those conversations where is Sakurai gonna be involved in the next game? And honestly, once again, I'll get into it later, but I feel like, personally, I feel like Sakurai is not going to get involved too much, but he's gonna be like the overviewer, if that makes sense. I don't think he's gonna let go completely of the Smash Bros. Series. Now, obviously, Nintendo's gonna keep doing it because it makes money. They're gonna keep doing it whether Sakurai is in or not. The proof is in Brawl. That game was going to be released whether Sakurai was involved or not. I mean, at this point, Sakurai has probably so much money he could retire. I feel like he has too much passion for it, man. I don't know. I feel like you can't make a game like Smash Ultimate and say you don't have passion for that or your passion has faded. I just don't think that's the case, personally. But anyways, with Smash Ultimate, Sakurai felt like he was able to offer a celebration of gaming, and he's glad he worked on it. Smash Ultimate isn't an ordinary game, and he's happy he was able to collaborate with many developers. Lastly, this bi-weekly column that Sakurai has written for so long will also come to an end. The last issue, 640, will be the last one. Well, that is freaking all from there. There's just a little left, man. I'm so sad. It's really coming to an end after this interview. So this was on Sora, obviously. I am so happy the fighter's in Smash. And the crazy part is, like, playing him, it feels like he always belonged there. But he was one of the hardest characters to get in for obvious reasons. So I don't know. It's just really interesting how that works. So overall, those were kind of all the things about Sora that I wanted to cover. There's so much, man. There's so much. And I'm so happy that this character's in Smash. And one final thing that I'll say is that I am so happy that we got the #1 requested character in the poll to be in Smash Bros. We've gotten some allusions here and there to obviously Sakurai using the poll to come up with a lot of the characters that ended up coming in Smash Bros. To knowing that the #1 requested character actually got into Smash is such a wonderful feeling, and it just feels a nice euphoria. It feels like people's most requested character, the people's champ, was actually chosen, which I think is really cool. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this extra long video, and yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. So with all that being said, you can put your spatulas down now, but keep it sizzling, my Baconators.